Today we're continuing our esoteric supplement series, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to do it a little bit off the cuff. I'm just going to speak freely about a supplement that has increased in popularity 100 times over. If you like this video, smash that subscribe button. If you didn't like this video, also hit the like button. Comment about my ears like the last guy did and tried to hurt my feelings, but he didn't because I'm impervious to criticism. So I own a couple supplement stores. I own Underground Nutrition. I have an online store, and I have a few physical locations. I've owned these stores for about 7 years. I'm on the front lines of the supplement industry. I see all the fads that come and go. I wanted to talk today about ashwagandha. I see ashwagandha in bodybuilding protocols, coaches lists, on TikTok. It's heavily promoted. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I think everybody's heard of ashwagandha by now. I'm not going to really cite sources because I don't have them in front of me, but I know some of the literature. First, where does ashwagandha come from? It's an ancient Eastern medicine out of India. It's about, at least as far as we know, about 6,000 years old. And it was used in ancient Eastern medicine. And it had a very specific use. Now, I don't know a ton about Eastern philosophy, but I do know from what I've read that it had a lot to do with balance. So the people that were using ashwagandha was for a very specific purpose. It certainly was not to get jacked and juicy on the Jersey Shore.
Hey, we're going to Ryder's birthday.
I don't give a
Ashwagandha translates to stinky horse butt. I've read some cope online that it actually means the strength of a horse, but it literally smells like horses. So that's probably where it came from. It's also known as Indian ginseng because it has a very similar chemical composition as ginseng. It has some similar effects. And its Western name, I think, is winter cherry. It's in the nightshade family. I want to say somnifera family of plants, which I think is Greek for sleep or Latin for sleep. So what are some of its uses today, and why are people using it in bodybuilding? Well, mainly is the studies show that it really drastically lowers cortisol levels. It releases myostatin, and myostatin prohibits muscle growth. But if you watch Andrew Huberman, you know that cortisol is also very important, particularly in peaking in the morning. So somebody who's using ashwagandha or bodybuilding should definitely not use it first thing in the morning. The top 3 reasons I see people use ashwagandha is to lower cortisol levels, reduce stress, and it also is a mood enhancer. It's very powerful in that it acts like an SSRI. The reason why I'm making this video is because I have a fascination with ancient medicines. The issues that I see is that these ancient medicines are very powerful. They were used for very specific reasons in very specific times and places. And it was normally used by people who were adapted to the land. Every plant, every animal, every part of their culture, the people were integrated with their geography. And over generations, thousands of years, they've learned what each and everything does in the body. Now, you transpose that to the uses of supplements today and the Western capitalist approach to bodybuilding in the supplement industry, it leads to a gross misuse and misunderstanding of these things. That's not to say that there isn't a place for people in bodybuilding and the fitness community to use these types of supplements, but I think there is a misunderstanding and an overuse. Just like in the pharmaceutical world, there's just it overprescribed. So I see bodybuilding coaches put in a daily dose of something like ashwagandha, and I see a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid come into a store and buy something like ashwagandha with no real understanding what it is. And then they take 600 milligrams of that product for the entire time that they're with a coach. Just assume that this is some cookie cutter coach. The issue with that is that it's a powerful Eastern medicine. And it's not something that you should use every single day. These are things that you should use similar to the people that used it 6,000 years ago did, which is for balance. So on an extremely stressful day, or a day where you have high inflammation, maybe you just played a sport, or you had a particularly intense training session, or things in your life are completely stressing you out and you're overwhelmed. Hey, we are closed.
No, we're closed, my man. I'm sorry.
Yes. 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 Then you would implement something like ashwagandha into your supplement protocol and take it out after a couple weeks, because these things are more powerful. Just because you can buy it in a supplement store doesn't mean that they aren't powerful. I mean, it belongs to the nightshade family, and the nightshade family has many different types of plants in it, but some of them are extremely toxic. Some of them have nicotine in it. When you hear the word nightshade, it should give you pause for a second. You wouldn't just go out into the forest and start eating nightshades.
It's a good thing I found these mushrooms. I was fucking starving.
The point of this video, unlike my glycine video, which is a little more comprehensive, like, I don't want to sit here and just Wikipedia something and then just spit the facts out. If you want to learn about ashwagandha and what it can do and read the studies, it's all out there. There are a lot of supplements that are misused in the West, and I see people misusing particularly strong supplements. There's a couple different types of people. There are the people that think that all supplements are stupid and a waste of money. And then there's another side to that, the exact opposite side, which people that take supplements too freely. Just because you can buy it in a store like mine or a GNC does not mean that it's not harmful in the long run. I believe that ashwagandha is one of those supplements that has a lot of benefits when used in the right places. In fact, it might have more benefits than a prescription medication in terms of an SSRI effect or anti-inflammatory or cortisol lowering. It also, with everything, it's the law of equivalent exchange. You can't get something for nothing. It's in my opinion that a supplement as powerful and old as ashwagandha should be taken with a little more reverence. You should have a little more understanding of it, and you should have a little more understanding of the history and where it comes from. Because I promise you, these people that were using it thousands of years ago were not using it in the ways that we're using it today. And I bet you that they were getting a much better result overall in terms of longevity and health than we are. You have to try to put yourself in the shoes of the people that discovered these types of plants. After trial and error over centuries and generations, Eastern medicine, I think it's called the Ayurvedic. It's an ancient Indian medical system. So by trial and error over thousands of years and generations of people with extremely close ties to the land and what grows there, ashwagandha exists in this system of medicine. So I don't think that the West really embraces this concept, where somebody who's trying to get big in bodybuilding, they are literally shotgun blasting everything in an entire store in an effort to get their goals, when in reality they could be taking something that's going to hurt them in the long run to do just that. They're not taking into account that something like ashwagandha is actually much more powerful than you think. Have a little fucking respect. I mean, I don't know a lot about this shit, but I know enough to know that it's something that's 6,000 years old, and that's just when it appeared in text, so it's probably much older than that. You got to think, people back then weren't just doing shit for no reason. So I suggest that when you spend $125 on a lifestyle coach that you found on Instagram because you like his six-pack, and he Googles bodybuilding diet for dumb kid I just met, and then copy and paste it and send it to you, and there's ashwagandha 600 milligrams a day for the rest of your life, I would suggest questioning that just for a second and saying, hey, what is this? Is this going to mess my brain chemistry up? Is this going to make me depressed when I stop taking it? Yes. All right, that's it. It's a esoteric supplement kind of review, off the cuff. That's just from the dome. Let me know in the comments if you'd prefer me to just Wikipedia everything and repeat it to you. I'm sure people are going to be yelling in the comments that I got some stupid fact wrong. Oh, the double-blind study says that there wasn't enough of a sample size in order to get the... Shut up. Shut up. All right? It increases your testosterone. Does it? Maybe. Probably. Does it increase your estradiol, though? I think it does. So I just say take your supplement protocol with a grain of salt. Try to understand the things that you're using, especially if they're things that existed in ancient Eastern medicine for thousands of years. Have a little reverence for them. Have a better understanding for them. And then I think you'll get a better result, and you'll be spending your money more wisely. And then you can, like, brag to your friends about how smart you are about something.